Recently, there have been 3 different trademarks that have been filed for. Those trademarks might be relevant for this channel and of course you, the viewer, so I thought I'd talk about them. We're going to be looking into each of these trademarks in this video, but proceed with caution. Trademarks are filed all of the time. Some of them aren't even executed upon, and they don't always result in the thing that you necessarily want. They're also incredibly vague. If you file a trademark for something, it has to go underneath a specific division. That goes into some more complicated stuff that I'm not necessarily willing to talk about here, not only because it's just going to take up a lot of time, but also because I'm not necessarily educated in it. But if you file for a trademark for something like t-shirts or a statue or something like that, it's going to be the same type of trademark that you would file for, say, something like a video game, which is what most of us would be interested in. And I initially thought about not doing this video at all, but I felt obligated to do so let's talk about it. Firstly, what even are these trademarks? Well, the trademarks that have been filed for are Ultra Impact. There's no more word on that, but we will talk about it in just a moment. Hiro-Tora, and lastly, a trademark for Hunter x Hunter. Don't get too excited about that one. Let's focus on the first one, Ultra Impact. This trademark was filed by Bandai Namco, which is pretty much the only reason we're going to be talking about it. It's a Category 9 trademark. Now, there isn't a whole lot to go on here. Ultra Impact could pretty much be anything, and it might not even be the final name of the project, so it's pretty much pointless to speculate past this point. If you want to theorize about what Ultra Impact could be just based on the name, then feel free to do so in the comment section, but I'm lost. It could be anything. I only mentioned it because it exists, and it was trademarked by Bandai Namco, so I thought it was worth mentioning. The next one is Hiro-Tora. Hiro-Tora roughly translates to something pretty close to hero training. This one's interesting. This trademark was also filed by Bandai Namco, and the popular theory going around right now is that it is a My Hero Academia game because it translates to hero training. Honestly, that on its own isn't enough for me to assume that it is a My Hero Academia game. Most shonen characters could be described as heroes, and most of them go through some level of training, so I wouldn't jump to conclusions there, though I do find it very interesting that the next My Hero Academia arc does feature quite a bit of training, so your guess is as good as mine there. I wouldn't say anything wholeheartedly. I'm also not going to get my hopes up about potential My Hero Academia stuff, so we're just going to move on. The last trademark we need to talk about is the Hunter x Hunter one, and honestly, I wouldn't get too excited about this one either. I'm hopeful, but I'm also a little bit worried. The previous 2 trademarks we talked about were filed by Bandai Namco, so that's a little bit more promising, but this trademark was filed by Shueisha. The reason that's a little bit worrying is that Shueisha is the initial publisher of Hunter x Hunter, of course, so if they're filing for a trademark, they could be doing pretty much anything with it. They could be making t-shirts, statues, figures, video games, whatever. But when Bandai Namco files for something, it's a little more promising because perhaps that means there's a video game in the future. But specifically with this Hunter x Hunter trademark, it points to nothing. It just means that something new Hunter x Hunter is coming at some point. And it might not even make it. It might not even happen. It might be a premature trademark. Who knows? Just like the very first trademark I mentioned, all of these trademarks are Division 9 trademarks, which tells us pretty much nothing. If a company wanted to make a pair of shoes, they would need to file a Division 9 trademark. If a company wanted to make a mobile game, they would need to file for a Division 9 trademark. If a company wanted to make an arcade game, they would need to file for a Division 9 trademark. Division 9 trademarks cover a whole lot of stuff. So I couldn't tell you what this Hunter x Hunter thing is because nobody knows. I especially can't tell you what the Ultra Impact thing is or the Hiro-Tora thing is because we know even less about those. We could be hopeful that those last 2 are video games because they were filed by Bandai Namco, who of course make a lot of video games, but Bandai Namco also licenses a wide variety of merchandise that aren't video games. Things like statues, figures, t-shirts, all of that stuff is licensed by Bandai Namco. So it wouldn't be surprising to me to find out that this stuff ends up not being a video game, but it also wouldn't be shocking to find out that it is a video game. This is why I initially didn't want to make this video because I'm pretty much coming up here and telling you that these trademarks exist and nothing else. I can't tell you much because we just don't know much. I did, however, feel the need to make this video because I wanted to clear the air on these trademarks. I saw a lot of people running wild with these things. It's a tiny bit frustrating for me because I have to make this video now talking about this because there's so many people running wild with misinformation. I've seen Twitter comments about how a Hunter x Hunter game has been officially confirmed. We are so far away from anything like that. All that's happened here is that a company, in this case, Shueisha, has filed for a trademark to do with Hunter x Hunter. It's a Division 9 trademark, and that's all we know. It's also nice to make this video not only to clear up that, but to inform those who weren't aware that there are new trademarks about, and perhaps we might have some interesting stuff to look forward to. But that's all I have for today's video. I want to thank you so much for sitting through this. If you enjoyed, I'd very much appreciate a like. If you're new around here, be sure to subscribe to keep up to date with new content. My name has been BILBZY, and I'll be sure to catch you in the next one.